People who have actually slept with their step-sibling or sibling, how did it happen and how was your relationship affected? My older brother dated our older stepsister. He was 15 to 16, she was 30 to 32. My mum was livid about it. Her dad pretended it wasn't happening. She was a bit of a sugar mama, bought him lots of nice stuff, flew him places. She took him to parties and did drugs with etc. Slept with him. My mum thinks she dated my brother just to spite her. I don't know how valid that is, wouldn't surprise me. But my mum was also a piece of work, and to get back at her and her husband for allowing it, she slept with her stepson. Don't worry, I'm still in therapy, wait, so there are two child abusers going on? What the hell, Mom? How's your brother doing now? My brother actually turned out alright. I mean, we have some level of personal shit from quite the eventful upbringing. But he's distanced himself to a lot of family and is doing well. He really only talks to our dad and siblings. Mom is still a piece of work though. Complete narcissistic mess. She's managed to push most people away from her with her narcissistic abuse. This one's prob's gonna get buried underneath joke replies, but I accidentally boned my half-sister while we were in high school. Basically we had never known each other beforehand, and we met in high school. She confessed that she had feelings for me, and we started dating about 1 year and we started having sex. Fast forward 2 years, and we graduate. Then she introduces me to her parents, and there I meet my father who I had only known from photos. Since he and my mum got divorced when I was born. That's when I found out my then-girlfriend was my half-sister. We agreed it was a good idea to stop dating when we found out, and we're still friends to this day and roommates since rent is expensive in unidorms. And no, we don't have sex anymore, only a few times cause we got really drunk. My parents are actually step-siblings. They began dating when they were teenagers, and when their parents met they fell in love and got married, making my mom and dad step-siblings. They ended up moving in together since they were both still living with their parents, and my grandparents just let them share a room. It's always been a joke in our family that my mom is my aunt, my dad is my uncle, and my brothers are my cousins. Edit. Grammar lol edit 2. My grandparents didn't fall in love until after my parents had started dating, and my parents broke up after becoming step-siblings, but not before my mom got pregnant with me. Both of my brothers are half-brothers, so I'm the only one in this predicament. My parents haven't been together for 23 years, but they are still step-siblings to this day. Edit 3. Here's a fun little story since this is blowing up. My parents broke up before finding out that my mom was pregnant with me. One of my half-brothers is only 2 months younger than me. Once my brother's mom became pregnant, she moved into my dad's room, causing my dad to have to live with 2 separate women, both pregnant with his babies at the same time. The whole situation was messed up. Sounds like the plot to Riverdale. Dad dated a woman. He dated a lot of women, so it became normal. She had a daughter. We got drunk at a party, hooked up. Real boy meets world it. Then they got married. And that's when we cut it out. Then they got divorced. And I'm still not boning her anymore. Not me, but my close family. My grandmother had 3 husbands. 4 children with all different dads. My mother's dad was sexually abusive and had been sleeping with my aunt, mom's older sister. They continued that relationship for years. My grandma divorced him, and he married my aunt. So my aunt was also step-grandma and my mother's dad was also uncle. When he finally died, I remember my mother saying, "I don't want to go to his funeral, but I really think I should be there to support my stepmom." That woman has always had a warped sense of humor. I love it. What did I just read? Sweet Home Alabama. Mom dated a guy. Guy had a son same age as me. We hated our parents and slept together. Had a fun time. Broke up due to him using drugs and me not dealing with it. Both are married to other people and happy. We don't talk even though we see each other at family gatherings after our parents got married. Edit to clarify. He was on drugs for years. Lied to me over and over that he was clean and he wasn't. I was always trying to support him, but he just didn't want to clean up yet. He did clean up for his wife. My dad's brother married my mom's sister. My parents somehow didn't really meet until several months after the wedding. My cousins and I are as close to incest as it gets without actually crossing blood relatives. Just for fun, my siblings have a different dad than me, so I actually look more related to those cousins than I do my own siblings. I just try to not explain that to people, but it definitely is weird when it gets out. Edit. I should explain it's only weird because people get confused until they figure out it's just two sisters married two brothers. My parents are divorced now anyway, so it rarely comes up, more if we have a get-together, and a newcomer mentions it's funny, I look like my cousins and my siblings, and I don't look related pretty much. I slept with my stepsister. She came in town for visit her dad, and when I went outside to help bring luggage and she gave me the FK me eyes, as soon as she saw me, and instantly I knew I was in trouble. For a week and a half I kept being polite and trying to remain distant because I had been warned by my stepdad and her brothers to not even look in her direction, not bring any friends over, not do anything wrong, and I had absolutely no intention of doing so. But it was the first time I had ever had anyone want me that badly, and I gave in, and we secretly got together for the remainder of the month she spent in town. We were both young and dumb, and fell in love, and thought we hit it well, but when they found out after she left I got my ass beat. For a few years they wouldn't let her visit, and we kept in touch, then after college I moved to where she lived, and we have been together ever since. 11 years now, and we have a 5-year-old daughter and 3-year-old son. Everyone is completely fine with it now, and we make jokes about it all the time. Edit, feel free to ask questions. First kiss kiss? First bang bang? Do my kids call me dad or uncle? First time I met her mom, or grandparents? How I explained things to my dad or coworkers? Lots of funny stories to share. My girlfriends, from 13 to 21, uncle hooked up and married my mother in 2 months from meeting when we were 17. We were both vicking pissed off. Yes, we did break up for about 7 months because every time we went anywhere people were giving us shit for being kissing cousins. We got back together and married at 19, but moved and went North Carolina with them until our daughter was born. They had divorced by then anyways. My sister and I are both sex workers. There have been numerous occasions when we've tag-teamed a client. We never tell them, and I'm not really sure why, because they'd probably pay more for that. Anyway, it's always the most hilarious thing ever, and we both have to try really hard to not laugh. To be clear, she and I don't have any contact during these sessions. Sorry if that disappoints anyone. Usually one of us would put our tits in a dude's face, while the other takes care of him downstairs. Simple. I lost my virginity to my third cousin by blood. Had no idea we were related until 6 months into the relationship. Open to questions, though, but that's about the closest I can get to what Op asked. I hate that by ch now though. You caught my eye. Why do you hate her now? How did you find out you were related? To the first question, I just finished responding to another comment, so sorry I missed this. We found out we were related at a July 4th celebration when she mentioned that she had family with the same last name as me who lived in the same state as some of my family. My dad and her grandmother got to talking and realized that they know some of the same people. My dad then ended up pulling out a family tree, and they traced it up to a common relative that he shared with her grandmother. So basically, her mom and my dad were second cousins by blood and she and I were third cousins by blood. We only actually had intercourse after we found out lol. I dated I believe it was third cousin once removed or something like that for about 6 months. We had already been exclusively dating for like a month when I mentioned my great-great-grandfather who was a tiny bit famous in my state, and he knew exactly who I was talking about, which is not normal. Turns out it's because that guy was also his great-great-grandfather. I freaked out and asked my mom about her family history. He asked his mom. Great-great-grandfather was a polygamist. I came from one wife and he came from another. It was weird, but not weird enough to stop. I remember going to his grandmother's house for Thanksgiving, located in the area that aforementioned grandfather was famous for, and marveled at how similar it was to my own grandma's house. Thanks Mormons. Edit. I forgot I have another story. I dated someone for 5 years. We got engaged and he ended our relationship via email 7 weeks before the wedding. He's a total piece of shit. But we were also distantly related. We both are descended from Samuel Adams. I thought it was hilarious. He was horrified and reconsidered our relationship. The discovery was made while we eating German pancakes, so I will now forever associate that memory with German pancakes, haha. I dated I believe it was third cousin once removed or something like that for about 6 months. We had already been exclusively dating for like a month when I mentioned my great-great-grandfather who was a tiny bit famous in my state, and he knew exactly who I was talking about, which is not normal. Turns out it's because that guy was also his great-great-grandfather. I freaked out and asked my mom about her family history. He asked his mom. Great-great-grandfather was a polygamist. I came from one wife and he came from another. It was weird, but not weird enough to stop. I remember going to his grandmother's house for Thanksgiving, located in the area that aforementioned Gigi grandfather was famous for, and marveled at how similar it was to my own grandma's house. Thanks Mormons. Edit. I forgot I have another story. I dated someone for 5 years. We got engaged and he ended our relationship via email 7 weeks before the wedding. He's a total piece of shit. But we were also distantly related. We both are descended from Samuel Adams. I thought it was hilarious. He was horrified and reconsidered our relationship. The discovery was made while we eating German pancakes, so I will now forever associate that memory with German pancakes, haha.